Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we will now invite His Excellency, Dr. Xasan Sheikh Mohamud, to address the congregation.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ما أنت هذا الكارديو يقولوا موالي عفير يا زلمة. waxaan marka hore aan hambalyo aan u gudbinayaa saaxiibadayda ardayda halkan maanta ku qalinjabinaysa PhD iyo master labadaba leh iyo kuwii aanan fursad u helin inaan kala qayb galo markii korkii hore ayaguna qalinjabiyay dhammaan waxaan leeyahay hambalyo waxaad ka mid tihiin waaga cusub ee Soomaaliya u bariyay waxaan rabaa inaan wax yar dib ugu laabto taariikhda waxbarashada Soomaaliya sideeda ayay waxay u leedahay taariikh aad iyo aad cajiib u ah 30 sano la soo dhaafay kuma jiro adduunyada kuma badna dal inta tacliintiisa soo dhisatay meel soo gaartay haddana ay meesha laga soo bilaabo meel ka hooseyso ay haddana tagtay haddana dib haddana inta u soo noqotay maanta meel fiican ay marayso Soomaaliya maanta waxay leedahay arday laba jubaar ka badan ardadii maalintii ay dawladda ay burbureysay taas macnaheedu waa laga yaabaa haddii aanay dawladdu burburi lahayn maanta inaan 3 jubaar iyo 4 jubaar iyo inaan sii joogi lahayn laakiin waa taas safarka aan maanta halkan uga guddoomay jaamacadda UPS PhD-dayda wuxuu ka soo bilowdaa dadaalkiisa sheekadii hadda kor aan ka sheekeeyay isgoyska Manaboli sheekadaasi waxay bilow u ahayd ama tusaale u ahayd bilowga waayaha cusub ee tacliinta Soomaaliya maalintaas waa maalinta aan ka marqaati kacay aan xaqiiqo u hayay in tacliintii Soomaaliya ay dantay iftiinkeedii inuu damay oo aanay jirin arday iskuul aaday maanta waxaa nasiib wanaag oo alla mahadi ah in aan magaalada Muqdisho ugu dabaaldegayno taariikhda Soomaaliya markii ugu horeysay xaflad sidaan oo kala oo shahaado PhD la isku guddoonsiinayo dalkeena ay ka dhacdo 62 sano oo aan xor ahayn oo aan dawlad ahayn duruufo kasta aan soo marnay waa markii ugu horeysay taas waxay tilmaam u tahay inaan aad iyo aad u ereyno oo aan u daba joogno u daba cararayno waayihii iyo waqtigii naga tagay muddadii gaabneed ee aan ku jirnay hibernation mar kale waxaan hambalyaynayaa saaxiibaday ardayda gabdho iyo wiilalba ayagoo buuxa mashquul ah meelo kala duwan jooga qoysas iyo caruur mas'uulka ah ilmo waxbaraya in ay haddana waqti u heleen in ay wax bartaan aniga oo waxaan u malaynayaa saaxiibadayda PhD qaadanaya waa la arki doonaa qofka da'weyn inaan ku jiro dhalinyaray u badan yihiin taas marka maxaa iyadana ay daliil u tahay wiil kasta iyo gabar kasta oo Soomaaliyeed ama aan dhaho qof kasta oo Soomaali ah cudurdaar uma haysto wax ma baran karo mashquulaan ahay waqti uma hayo maxaan ku yiraahdaa shaqada iga badan meel cilahan jooga cudurdaarkaasi maanta yaa la laabay muxuu ahay beejkiisa qof kasta oo Soomaali ah maanta waxa halkan laga cadeeyay da'du in aanay ka reebaynin waxbarasho mashquulku in aanu ka reebaynin waxbarasho weyto aan ma hayo ma ka jirto waxbarashada aan rabay beledka kama jirta aan la leeyahay aanay ka reebaynin marka sidaas ayaa dhammaan Soomaaliya iyo dadka Soomaaliyeed waxaa ka baaba'ay cudurdaar in loo helo qofkii hadda anigu wallahi waa iska caajisay waa iska saabsaday waxbarasho ma raba dhahayo waa halkiisa laakiin cudurdaar ma laha inaad wax baran weydo inaad meeshaad rabto aad gaari weydo 2018 markaan bilaabnay barnaamijkan PhD by the way gaabka ku jira waad garan kartaa aniga 1988 ayaan master's degree ka qaatay 1988 and 2018 waxaan register gareeyay PhD anigoo mucaarada oo jidka taagan oo qaylinaya waa waday waxbarashada oo maxaa kama cajisay aniga oo doorashada inta soo dhawaato maalmo iyo habeenno iyo aan hurdayahayaa jirin waa waday aniga oo madaxweyne noqdana waa waday inta badan horta course workigii faktii horeba qowl aad iyo aad u sahlan ay ahayd way dhammaatay intii ka dambeysay ayaa inta oon muxuu ahay ayadana challenge-ga badan oo ka jira ay ahayd proposal ha ahaato data collection ha ahaato in badan oo ka mid ah intaanan madaxweynaha noqonin aan gudbiyey waxay ahayday intaanan madaxweynaha noqonin inaan graduate garay ama dhamme xafladdu maanta ha dhacdo laakiin maybe that was the right day and I'm glad to see some of my teachers sitting here today. Thank you my dear. So laakiin because of that dad saaxiibaday ah waagi doorashada madaxweynaha ka hor ay dhameeyeen course oo almost ay graduate gareeyeen xafladda un baa maanta ka noqotay anigana ayaan la midahay inaan saas noqday ahayd laakiin dee duruufahaas aan kasoo sheekeeyey ayaa soo gaarsiin markaan xafiiska fadhiista kadib inaan haddana buugga iyo qalamka isku celiyo oo aan dib ugu laabto si kastaba ahaatee waa ku faraxsanahay aad iyo aad ayaan raalli ugu ahay safar dheer oo soo bilowday 1960meeyadii maalintii ma sheegaya aan bilaabay iskuulka aan tegay the day I started to go to school in the 1960s until today this was a very long journey but it ended up successfully. I reached the destination that demonstrates everybody can reach it. If I did, anyone younger than me who got more time than I do can do it. So waxaan rabaa marka arrintan PhD-da aniga runtii waqtiga iyo duruufaha kala fog iyo culays badan kalamaan ku milaana wixii aan u soo joogay ayaa waa da'du muxuu ahay fursadda ay ka leedahay qofka dhalinyarada waxay tahay wax badan oo aan u soo joognay oo aan soo taagnaay oo markay dhacayeen aan joogay oo markay halaabayeen aan joogay markay soo kabanayeen iyo dadaalkii laga sameeyay aan joogay ayay khusaysay waxayna fursad ii siisay wax badan oo maxaan ku yiraahdaa caab igaga jiray inay aad iyo aad u kala caddaadaan peace without peace nabad haddaanay jirin waxa kaloo dhan ma jiraan nothing can exist nothing can prosper without peace so peace is the central pillar for the humanity in terms of development. That development, whether it's science or technology or, you know, when you have the opportunity to think, research, decide, then only you can make progress and development. But if you are here in Mogadishu, there are 17 districts in Mogadishu. And during the difficult days, I and my family, we have been moving from one district to another in search of a peaceful, small, little place to stay for that night, for that week maybe, for a few days. Most of those 17 districts I've been leaving, some of them maybe days. And then as a researcher, as a research coordinator, as a deputy director of a research center, I traveled extensively throughout Somalia. Each and every district in Somalia I visit. Many communities, smaller communities even, I visit in 10 years' time. And I was asking only one question. Your perspective, how do you see that a Somali state can come back and stay functional? And instead of getting an answer from that, the people who were asking those questions in a very remote area, what they were mainly immediately coming and talking about was the grievances that the state has did to them, the problem, the displacement, the violence that the state apparatus has done to them. Parents who lost their loved ones, widows who lost their beloved husbands, men who lost their beloved wives, or people who lost their property, their camel, their herds, their livestock, all. People who run away from the beautiful place they had, mainly from Mogadishu. Somalia was a very cohesive society before the Civil War. During the Civil War, we have been dispersed all over, and every single person of Somalia went back to his original place where he might not have seen for his life. Some people, they were born here in Mogadishu, raised their family here in Mogadishu, but at the age of maybe my age, they were compelled to run away and go back where their forefathers come. Now the challenge was, which my team and my institute were saying, how can we bring back the nation and make Somalia again a cohesive nation? We have all the qualities that unifies a nation, whether it's ethnicity, whether it's faith, whether it's way of life, whether it's a language, we all are similar. But again, we are divided. Clan politics was the main reason. We do not deny that we all Somalis, we belong to clans, that's true. Every Somali belongs to a particular clan, that's a reality. But I wanted to, which all of you, I want to let you remember, which I 100% sure that you know it. In a specific clan, Somali clan, belongs to a specific geographic location, mainly very small location, few kilometers. That's the territory of the clan. They have that territory, they have their traditional rules, they have their own way of life, they stay there. They have an agreement and contract with the neighboring clans so that they can interact and move around. And the traditional laws of the clan, they govern, those laws, they govern that small territory of the clan. But the state laws govern from one corner to another. All citizens are equal in front of law as a state when we're talking about state. So the law that applies to that corner of Somalia will also be applicable to the other corner of Somalia. But the traditional law is not. The traditional law is only applicable to a specific geographic location of that clan. Maybe certain clans have common laws that they are equal, but a clan who lives somewhere outside Mogadishu here, and one who lives the other corner of Somalia in the other corner of Somaliland or Puntland, they don't have anything, they don't share anything other than the Somaliness, the language, the ethnicity, the faith they share. The laws of the state they share. But they do not share the traditional laws. So now that classification must give us to distinguish between clan politics and the national politics. National politics, a decision made by the national leadership, the national institutions, will affect each and every Somali. But the decision is made under the three by a specific clan will only affect that specific clan, not the next clan to it even. So this distinction is very important in order to build a sustainable Somali politics, sustainable Somali laws. All this has to be considered. I don't believe that we do deny that we belong to different clans. That's the only thing that we differ. One variable of all we differ is one, that we are different clans. The rest we are the same. We belong to the same ethnic, we belong to the same faith, we speak the same language. Variations here and there may, dialects and accents may here and there happen. I may recognize when someone speaks that he came from that region, but still I do understand him. I don't need a translator or anything like that. So, the unfortunate thing is that we Somalis, and I am saying this to you guys because you are the mind. Waxaa lagu yiraahdaa afka Soomaaliga, we call it in English the elite. You are the elite. And you know what we say, the elite in Somali? Maniso. Manka. What was the government in Somali? Elite is Maniso. Adika aya manisadi umadan ay lahayd. Marka ina maskaxdiina inay furnaato oo open af u noqotaan to all these meelahaas u soo xidhan ma xalka saan waa there is no one solution for the problem of Somalia. There's multiple solutions. Bringing them together, those multiple solutions is a dilemma, and we are working on that. The main reason is it all about the mind. Somalia does not lack skills. We have enough qualified people, and now thanks to UPs, we are getting more and more every day. Today, we have graduates that was not dreaming at all to graduate inside Somalia for this specific or particular subjects. Have we ever had anyone who graduated subjects like environmental science, peace and security? You know, this is a new variable that has added our international partners' capacity in Somalia. And that's the best thing that they can do for us. The rest is on us. Since the collapse of the state until today, the international community is with us. They never left this country for none. They have been with us all the time at different levels. We know how many Somalis and how many Somali lives were saved in 1992 by Operation Restore Hope, UNITAF, under the leadership of the United States Army. How many hundreds of thousands of Somalis' lives were saved. And from that day until today, all international agencies, WFP, UNDP, Red Crescent Society, you name all the international NGOs here in Somalia, doing one thing or the other. That was a very great gift, but it didn't replace, it cannot replace what we were supposed to do, which is the missing element. Now it seems that we are waking up, and I hope that we will, as I said earlier, we are running and we have to run very fast in order to cover the distances that we missed in the past. Guys, the good and happy new faces I'm seeing, very young. Last, I would like to say two things. One is Somalia became an independent state in 1960. That's 62 years. is the remaining in the century is how many years? 38 years. After 38 years, 2006, what kind of Somalia we want to see? Today, we have the opportunity to decide and design the kind of Somalia we want in 2060, before Agenda 2063. But using the pillars and the concepts of Agenda 2063, we can realize the kind of Somalia we decide. It's we who decides what kind of. The other thing I would like to add is that by that day, I'm not there. And if I'm there, I will not be useful. So young boys and girls, it's you who will be there that day. Most of you will be there at different age and different responsibility. Maybe some of you at this position I'm standing today. But you need to work very hard. That's one. Number two is, if we want to see a beautiful Somalia in 2060, we need to do everything that we were doing in the last 30 years differently. If we do what we were doing in the last 30 years, we will get what we have now, which is not something that we all like today and happy with. So everything that we are doing, we have to ask one question: how this thing has been done in the past 30 years, in the past 20 years, in the last 10 years. And then we have to do it differently, in a manner that we see is much better. We may make mistakes, we should not be afraid of mistakes. The life, what is an expert? Someone has asked me, what is an expertise? How can we say someone is expert? It's nothing more than accumulation of experience. Experience after experience after. You cannot graduate from a university and then call yourself that you are an expert. No, that you have. You have to go, make mistakes, rectify it, go again, make another different mistake, not the one you mistake yesterday. Don't repeat that, make another one, improve it, and then that is how you become an expert. But if you are afraid and keep yourself back and say, I'm afraid I may make a mistake. Mistakes will never make you fail. Without trying will make you fail. It's a good time. It's a good time and good day. Here is a very good speech written by experts, but I didn't think. The mood and the environment is different, so I have to take different things. Again, I would like to congratulate all of you, and I would like to thank very much for UBIS and the great initiative that UBIS did for Somalia. I'm very glad that the first UBIS center that has a PhD graduates today is Somalia in Africa. And I'm very proud of that, and that makes you, your effort, your good work that you did. I'm very much grateful for UBIS, and I want to assure His Excellency the Rector that Somalia is standing with UBIS all the time. Whether UBIS wants us to work hard or whether UBIS wants us to go and share our experiences with somewhere else as the peace building issue. So thank you very much. From now on, whether Somalia is not talking about peace, we are talking about positive peace. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much, Dr. Xasan Sheikh Mohamud, the President of the Republic of Somalia.